Hello. For today's topic, we're going to take somewhat of a more philosophical tangent. Instead of talking the practicalities, training, the form of how you might lift something, correct form, incorrect form, best way to take supplements, we're going to talk a little bit about the psychological aspect of lifting and sport in general. Today's topic I'd like to discuss is what separates great and good athletes. I think there's common trends and common character traits that great athletes or even upper tier good athletes share. I've been around sport for a long time. I've been playing sports since I was 10, 11 years old. Played rugby for 10 years. Been in powerlifting for 6, 7 years. Attained a reasonable level of performance myself. I'm by no means a great athlete, but what you might consider an above average lifter. But in my time working in sport, I've been around all kinds of sports. I've been around athletics. I've been around hockey. I've been around rugby. I've been around soccer. You name it, pretty much I've dealt with an athlete in that sport at some time. And in my own social circles and my own day-to-day life, I'm involved with some pretty talented young lifters, some not so talented lifters. And when you spend so long with a certain kind of person, you get kind of a feel, you get to know what makes people tick. Certainly what makes athletes tick. And you see you can tell when a kid's got it. It's pretty easy to tell when a kid's got it physically. They lift more weight, they jump higher, they run faster. They're more skillful at the sport. But it's pretty hard to when someone's got the mindset. And that's what really separates the great from the good. It's the mind and their mindset. That's what makes a good athlete great. Can make a bad athlete good. Can make a terrible athlete above average. Some of the things you see, I see stupidity in these people. It's not stupidity as you might, they're not morons, they're not idiots. But they're stupid when it comes to things. Easy example is a lifter. It doesn't take a genius to get under a heavy squat bar, push yourself till you puke, and then do it again, puke again, and then do it again. I've seen some guys puke multiple times during a workout, come back after 20 minutes to finish the workout. Some people will call them people idiots, but they're some of the strongest people I know. Some of you guys may be involved, maybe you're a games player, maybe you're an endurance athlete, maybe you run to the point where you physically can't run again. You just can't run no more. You can't physically move your legs, you can't physically move your arms. You take yourself to that point. Some people in sports science might say that's not how it's done. They might say that you're overtraining. They might say that you're accumulating more fatigue for no reason. And sure, they have a point. There's optimal ways of doing things. There's optimal ways of not doing things. But there was absolutely no replacement for this hard work and work ethic. And to that point, stupidity is what calls through. You see a certain person that's great at their sport. They're pig-headed. They're ignorant. They ignore naysayers. They don't listen to what critics got to say. They don't care. Why should they care? What's your opinion? It doesn't matter. They don't pay attention to the doubt in their head. They don't have time for it. What's the point in doubting yourself? Create more room for error? Why would you want to do that? They've got a single-minded determination. They focus. All they care about is what they want to be good at. If you want to be a good weightlifter, you want to be a great weightlifter, you live, eat, and breathe that sport. You think of nothing else. You ain't got time for nothing else. There is nothing else. All you care about is you thinking about how you can perform better. Maybe looking at your rivals, see what they're doing. What are they doing that you're not doing? What do the best do? Are you doing the same thing? Could you be doing the same thing? Now, these are the things that the people who make it in these sports care about. Or people who make it in these sports, they care about only one thing, and that's being as good at their sport or good at their activity as they can be. They've got attention for detail that matters. They don't sit and worry about. Some guys do. Some guys pay attention to every little detail. That the diet will be on point. The recovery will be on point. They'll stretch. They'll do their mobility. They'll do everything meticulously. They're not necessarily the great athletes. The great athletes care about what matters. They care about their performance. Now, if the recovery improves their performance, if they do something, they run faster, they jump higher, they kick better, they'll pay attention to that. But if they don't see a performance benefit in what they do, they don't give a shit. They don't care. Why should you care? Unless you see the benefit of your efforts, why put in the effort? Why bother? Cut away the nonsense and spend your time doing what matters. That's what people who make it, that's what they do. Jonny Wilkinson, one of the greatest kickers of all time in world rugby, he practiced nothing but kicking. What made Jonny Wilkinson great? What made England win the World Cup in 2003? The forwards obviously had a great input, but without Jonny Wilkinson's left boot, right boot, whatever it was, England wouldn't have won that World Cup. And you hear stories of him practicing for kicking for 2 hours. You might hear the people saying that you don't want to kick for too long, puts too much strain on the groin, increases your risk of injury, does this, it does that. He put the time in. He single-mindedly chased what he wanted, and he got it. He got the benefit. He won a World Cup. Only Northern Hemisphere in the world, only Northern Hemisphere team in the world that won a World Cup was England, 2003. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen next time. Another thing that separates the great from the good, again going back to the stupidity, it's ignoring pain. They don't let little niggles get in the way. They've got a shoulder and maybe a slight shoulder injury, slight hamstring tear. But if they can get out in that pitch, they can train, they'll train. They get under that bar and squat, they'll squat. They'll deal with the pain afterwards. But if it means for them to miss training, it has to be something serious. They have to lose a leg, and some of the disabled athletes I've dealt with are just incredibly inspiring. Guys come training 5 days a week, paralyzed from the cervical spine, can't move, can't have a normal life. He's got time to train. He does what he's got to do. I ain't got time for people with excuses. Great athletes don't have excuses. Good athletes don't have excuses. The bottom line of this chat is it's doing what needs to be done. If you need to practice, you practice. You do what you got to do the best you can, and that's what separates a great athlete from a good athlete. Doing whatever needs done and getting it done. That concludes this somewhat different episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. Website's currently live, although at the time of speaking it's down for some reason. I don't know why. I'm currently fiddling with it, so it's not fully ready to go. I'm looking at some forum solutions that are maybe a little bit tighter than what I have at the minute. I'll keep you updated. And when it goes fully live, then I'll publicize it as much as possible for the 5 people that pay attention to this channel. Anyway, let's hope it grows. Till next time, this is Mark signing off.